Ridge runner blades, sharp and true, forged in the heart, fresh as dew. Buy one today, bring home the past, a piece of heritage made to last.
What's up, Joe Flowers?
Hello, how are you?
Man, so good to see your shining face.
It's really shiny right now because I've got a new really cheap ring light, so it's working pretty well.
Well, good deal. How's everything going today? You ready for some cold weather?
Yeah, dude, are you ready for all this snow? Are you
Dude,
kidding?
I'm
Dude,
heading
it's
to the
gonna be
mountains
incredible.
tomorrow. I've got a big photo shoot tomorrow in Valley Cruces. So as soon as it starts snowing, I'm piecing towards the mountains.
Dude, yeah, it's like it starts at 1:30.
Yeah.
By the way, up here in the mountains of North Carolina, where we're both
Yeah.
from. And have you had school canceled all week long?
No, but we
I
did
have. It's been super fun, guys.
I love when school's canceled, personally.
Yeah,
I love it.
well, I do, but like I just got back from a crazy trip in Trinidad, which we'll talk about later. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I was ready to answer quite a few emails and start picking up on some stuff because we have some industry stuff for the knife world coming up, SHOT Show, and so I want to make sure I'm prepared for that.
Yeah.
And well, it's just been there's lots more dishes and lots more stuff to clean up, so it's not always about bushcraft in the world of Joe. I have to be a stay-at-home dad as well.
Well, I've met your kids, and that's got to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. It is. And then, after they've been cooped up, as with any sibling, after you've been cooped up for, a week, they can get kind of feral. So
Well, that's mine is the opposite. It's like when she goes to school, she turns into more feral. So I enjoy the weeks that she's here, and it's like by like Thursday we've got everything calmed down and we're good, and then we have like 3 days and then it's back. So, but yeah, so tell me, man, what's big in your life right now?
Oh man, this is the year of travel for me, Jason.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different places. I'm not going to be able to do this every year in my life, especially with having kids and stuff as well. So I want to make sure I'm balanced with that. But long story short, travel, travel, travel. So I just did New Year's in Trinidad, which was incredible. I got to go visit a friend. His name is Moose. Moose, more or less
Moose in Trinidad.
In Trinidad, yeah, you might have met him at Blade Show a couple of times.
Oh yeah,
that's
cool.
where I met him the first time. And a while back, he said he wanted to hunt white-tailed deer, so I was like, "Yeah, come on down." And within 12 hours, he got one, and so I really like deer. I've got a fresh jerky downstairs that I really love, and it's been deer season, so I've been off the map. And then right after that, he says, "Hey, you need to come to Trinidad for our season." And so they hunt iguana, they hunt agouti, they hunt capybara, they hunt all sorts of spearfishing. Man, you name it. These guys, my friend Moose is Go Out and Under. You can follow him on Instagram, Out and Under. But in Trinidad, they have a lot of spearfishing, a lot more different rules. For instance, you're able to go after grouper there and stuff. And so it was a food extravaganza. These guys, they ate like the hobbits in Lord of the Rings, second breakfast, third breakfast, and stuff. And all this time, man, everybody was liming. Liming means to hang out. It's like a time during the year where everybody hangs out. And so, like, we'd go to somebody's like little party, and there'd be like tons of food everywhere, and everybody brought food, and it was like a breakdance battle of who could have the most nutritious, like curry based, like Caribbean food, and
Oh
a lot
wow.
of it was wild game meat, like a goody and a guana, and all sorts of other stuff. And we got to hunt some of that, with air guns, with different types of methods of taking some of the animals. This time, I went down with the dude. His name is Wolf 40.
Yeah.
And you can check him out on Instagram. He does a lot of really cool stuff, and his knives are all U.S. made. He's a former military vet. You can figure out exactly how hardcore he was if you go check out his website. But he's very amphibious, you would say.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, man. I was talking with him on a bear hunt here in North Carolina, up in the mountains, and this was like a month before I was about to leave. And he was like, "Hey, dude, do you need someone to come with you?" And I was like, "I just met this guy for the first time, but we both never shut up." So he came down with me. They both taught me how to spearfish down there, which is something I've always done from the shore or in more of a like, let's say a freshwater environment. And so they taught me like real hardcore spearfishing. I can't dive like they can, but I'm learning for free diving. And free
So they're
diving,
free diving, just free
yeah,
diving.
they're all free diving, dude. Oh man, it was crazy, y'all. Watching people free dive with the snorkels, and then like me, I got down to like 25 feet. Okay, yay! My daughter probably could do that, but like I watched them go down to 60 and then just watch them disappear for like 3 minutes and come back up real slow and relaxed, with a big thumbs up. And they came, with a grouper on there or something. It was so cool. And then right on the beach, Jason, we'd go out there with our knives. We'd be out there testing stuff. And right on the beach, we'd be doing bushcraft skills and throwing all of the fish into there, trying to use all of our knives to check out
Yeah.
what the rust prevention is, to find out what happens when you use carbon steel, and right afterwards, then use a stainless steel knife, which is something amazing that I'm figuring out too. We'll get back to this. This is stainless steel, but I know why. It's not really rusty, but the dude knows his stuff about knives.
That's
Out
awesome.
Under is a free dive shop and a knife shop, and they
That's
sell
awesome.
a lot of Condor product there.
That's awesome. You were telling me that like everywhere you went, somebody was carrying a condor machete.
Yeah, it
That's
was it
awesome.
was so cool, and it was like a status,
Yeah,
symbol too. So it
of
wasn't
course it
just like
is.
a cheap machete, man. No, I got the real deal right here.
That's
It,
awesome. So what knife did you take with you? What what
yes.
was the knife? What was the knife of
um,
the trip?
I kind of have a bag here still because I haven't unpacked yet. There's a bunch of vials of insects and all that stuff too. But let's see. Uh, what a great question. I need to not talk so much so that you get some stuff in, Dan. Because this is
No.
Dan's knife. Sorry, Jason. So here we go. The first one by Dan Eastland,
Oh
a
yeah.
Magna Cut pterosaur.
Nice.
And if you look really hard, all you knife guys over there, you can see some micarta pins. He made this to be impermeable to salt water.
Yep.
And man, it was like a Magna Cut fest on this
You,
trip, y'all.
we it's funny you bring up Magna Cup because I think
Uh-oh.
it was like 2 live streams ago. Like I've been hating on it so bad.
Oh,
I hate
have you?
I just don't like it. But I said like the one situation where it is the best steel is saltwater. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like
Well,
it's just so good.
that and LC200N, right?
Yeah.
Have you messed with LC200N much?
A little bit. But not never around saltwater.
Hmm.
So
I've got plenty of stories with that, but for this was something that Dan Easton of Dogwood Custom Knives out of South Carolina, he made me because I got. If you guys, I'm not flipping you off, but if you see my finger right there, I love reptiles and amphibians, and I got bit by a copperhead once. whole nother story. But I ended up not taking anti-venom from it, not having any problems. And so he made the copperhead pterosaur
I love it.
out of MagnaCut. And check it out, guys. It's not Scandi. I like other edge grinds too, especially with MagnaCut that's going to be around bone or
Yeah.
hard sea life or something like that. So that's one. Yes, they do hunt capybara. It's an invasive species there. So you're free to hunt. And I got to go in the deep agricultural fields where I saw a lot of the damage. And within one day of just them passing through in a herd, they can really mess up stuff. Work sharp. I've got like three of these now. They're so handy.
That's one of my favorite little sharpeners, man.
Yeah. There's some things I would fix on it, but it's freaking awesome. It's an absolutely amazing design. Made in America too. Super cool. When I was at Moose's shop, I bought myself a dive knife just to have something small. I liked the color.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fun to buy knives in person, Jason.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty cool to be at like a show and buy something that's significant for you. And so I thought, oh, okay, cool. I'm just going to have this basic dive knife and see what a company who isn't obsessed with steels has to offer. And the design is really, really peculiar to me and really speaks well of what's going to happen with the knife afterwards. And you see there is some corrosion on there.
Yeah.
But it's just surface corrosion. I'm learning a lot more about corrosion and design of injection molded sheets and the need for figuring out where you're putting a knife into.
Yeah.
This is Wolf 40's blade.
Yeah.
That he gave me on the trip. That's Wolf_40.
That's spelled out 40, not the number.
Yeah,
Wolf_40.
Wolf_FORTY.
Yeah.
And he's a secret squirrel type who knows a whole lot about manipulating blades underwater, using them as tools, maybe doing some demolition stuff. Who knows? But his sheath style is a really neat setup, and it's easy to figure out where you're putting it into. If I can do this on the internet, without being able to see it. And so, man, I learned a lot about sheath design there. If you can put something into a sheath, both ways, and figure out how to do it without, looking down in blackout conditions, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. They did you eat iguana and all that?
We had about 5 iguana, or 3 iguana that we shot, and we were eating so much that he put them in the freezer. And I think we might have had an iguana something at one point, but we were eating so much game meat that I couldn't keep track.
Yeah.
Guys, they woke up in the morning, what do you want to eat? And then after the first time, okay, let's go for, our real breakfast. And I was like, what was that over there? This awesome agouti curry melt. And then we had good beef, later on, or a beef, just all this very, very Trinidad cuisine.
So what was the reason for the air guns? Is that just what they hunt with, or is there just no guns there? Or
there's laws for firearms there. Depending on what kind of permits you get, but the permits, you can get guns there, but you end up spending more for the permits than you do the gun.
Oh yeah.
And then the bullets are super duper expensive. So there would be a guy who legally could have, a certain type of gun there. Right.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. And we had one of them hunting with us too. And that worked out great. But the air guns, when a iguana is really, really far out in the yardage and stuff, and sometimes there's houses behind and things, it really makes sense to have an air gun much better than an actual gun, because they can fire over stuff and fire in urban settings, even not inside. Iguana biscuits and gravy. Yeah. There's a whole Florida cuisine too. But anyway, long story short, it's much safer and cheaper.
Yeah.
Much cheaper, easier to clean. I was convinced afterwards. I'm like, they could get out there with 22s, but then they really have to worry about where they're shooting if it's not in one of the park or reserves and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can literally homeboy was out there, I know how to see reptiles, and I've got a trained eye, but he was on a whole new level when it came to iguana, because when he was hungry, he ate. And so he'd be able to see just a reflection on a tree and pull over. And I was just like, never seen that in my life.
That's pretty amazing.
And so this gentleman moose is a a full-time knife lover. He has tons of magnets all over his um, uh, cool kitchen, and he's always testing the knives that he's selling.
Hmm.
And so he has some like less expensive Chinese knives that sell like crazy in Trinidad because they can beat the heck out of them. And then F-Dick, for instance, is really good on coconut. And the Bushcraft Parang is the most popular machete that he sells because it's good for lopping off fish like crazy and then going straight to a goody and then doing that. I mean, it's just a really cool blade culture. And
That's
man,
awesome.
it really puts me in my place to understand why ergonomics go there stuff too. And
Yeah.
heck, dude, it was cool. Got to bring the titanium 3D printed handle
Dude.
knife down there.
So funny story about those guys.
Yeah.
I reached out to those guys, and because I would love to have their stuff in the store, and they're not looking for dealers right now.
They might be
So
backed up too much.
I was like, please let me know when you or want a dealer, because I would love to carry their stuff. It's a really, really cool knife.
Yeah.
I bet. Did you use that as a dive knife at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
In the places where I knew I could find it,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to risk it. Even though it has this awesome sheath, I used the injection molded one instead of the multi-pass one. But yeah, so it's 3D printed, so they can do multiple different sizes and stuff as well. Have to snap that too. But the cool part about it is, I guess, like, they can change up the size whenever they feel like it, because it's just like an AutoCAD file, right?
Yeah.
So they can make it a little bit bigger for some people's hands,
Mhm.
a little bit smaller, and then they have that aerospace titanium stuff on
Yeah.
there, dude. I know I'm rubbing it in that you can't get it right now, but I think you can buy it straight off their site. They have the MagnaCut. I don't know if you can see that, internet. Let's see here. There we go. They have it saying MagnaCut,
Mhm.
Rockwell 65. And I went up to a place up in Ohio and tested it. And man, it was 64.5. I've
Wow.
used the crap out of this blade. And between this and some of the other MagnaCut that we used on the trip, dude, it was pretty impressive how well we could use it out in the field, get it sharp again too. We brought a Dry Creek Forge MagnaCut tester that I've been testing forever down there, and I gave it to him to use, and I said only use field sharpeners on this.
Yeah.
And I think he wants to keep that one straight with stone,
Wow.
because we're really impressed about how quickly we can get an edge on it when we're using it. Man, it holds an edge like crazy. The one that Dan Easling gave me scared people down there. It was pretty
Really?
cool. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
That's cool. Dan's such a cool guy.
Yeah, actually,
I
I'm going
love
to get
his
a
knives.
selfie. This is for Dan Easton of Dogwood Custom Knives.
There we go.
Say hello, internet. I'm talking about you. Yay, yay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Have to do
Yeah.
that. Hey, I just purchased his new knife, the Joy of Cooking knife that he did with
Yeah,
Ethan
they're
Hecker.
amazing. We're going to be
Yeah.
getting those as soon as we get the culinary section up in the store. We're going to be getting those in, because I'll
Man,
tell you what, that's a crazy good knife for $200.
Yeah. I got
So
one for
good.
my wife, and it's
Yeah.
like, I think it's my highest end knife now that I
Mhm.
have in my kitchen because I know it so well. I have friends with $1,000 knife, and I still like that S35
Yeah.
VM more because I know it.
Yeah. I looked at them. I saw them at Blade Show, and then down at Georgia Bushcraft, he had them down there, and it's just a great
Yeah,
knife. I
yeah,
love
that
Dan. I love his stuff.
dude, he
I've
does great job with everything. I mean, he did a great job with the
Yeah.
MagnaCut on this, but he's also a custom knife maker that
Mhm.
sometimes wants to get away from making knives because doing the same knife over and over again can
Mhm.
get boring.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool. We got Mr. Overton Windex in the chat.
Oh, hello.
He just ended up with he's got several of your knives, but he's got
Excellent.
he's building an overland rig out of a 2025 F350 Platinum.
Oh my God.
He's getting the truck in like 20 days or something, like right after SHOT Show. It'll be done,
Oh,
and
geez.
or it'll be delivered like while he's at SHOT Show, and so
Hey,
but he's
Overton,
gonna
stop by
he's
the
gonna,
booth at SHOT Show as long as I'm
yeah.
there. Not send him my
I'll
text
send him
message.
your number.
Too.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
but he's got one of the K-Tacs,
Oh, cool.
and so I think he's gonna do a little bit of content, overland content with that big knife. So it'd be pretty
Dude,
cool.
that's great. Dude, you can knock out like well, maybe. I would put it in the sheath if you did this, but you might be able to knock out, all right, maybe not a U joint, but you might be able to bend back a tie rod with it or
Yeah,
something hard like that.
yeah.
You never know.
I love that kukri. It's a really cool. That's a really cool one.
I have let's see, do I have any within my oh, I'll show you
I
something
do.
new.
Somewhere.
Speaking of kukris,
Oh, you got it?
2025.
I can't wait to get these.
This a Terra kukri.
Yeah.
So you know the kukris have done real well on Condor's website, and Terrachetti is a great machete. This is a prototype, by the way. But we wanted to do some of the different grinds that you might have and use the handle a little bit different. So the thing with the Terra kukri is it comes with the fully injection molded sheath.
Yeah.
This one's Kydex.
Just like the machete.
Yes, exactly.
Comes with it's like the perfect little combo there. Yeah, I love the Terrachetti
version of it. So Alan K from Alone won with the HD kukri design, and to say something, in honor of him, we designed a more tactical version because he's a little bit tactical, and basically came out with the K-Tac, and that is a awesome 1075 high carbon steel knife with a smashing pommel they can use on coconuts or bad guys' faces.
So it's got the nice.
Hey, dude, congrats on no Band-Aids.
Dude, I just pulled a Band-Aid off.
Oh, you did? Oh, for the show. Yeah. Sometimes you have to pull the Band-Aid off. It's going to be much like that, too.
Yeah. I love the sheath, though, for this knife. But yeah, that's a kick butt kukri. I love that thing. It is, it's the same size as the heavy duty, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's basically
same
modeled
size.
after the heavy duty, but then we slapped some micarta and made it
Yeah.
indestructible with one of them smashing pommels on the back. You don't
I
see
love this
those
thing.
a lot on the kukri design.
Yep. And Mr. Overton has sold more Aussies than anybody on the freaking planet, I think. I have sold so many of these Aussies. And we're actually going to be shooting a video for Ridge Runner. We're shooting tomorrow on the Aussie and the Cavalier together.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
So
Dude,
yeah,
they've a really cool knife too. Any background information you guys want on that?
Yeah, well, we'll dig into them here shortly.
Tomorrow, so you guys can message me up and we can figure it out.
Yeah, well, we'll dig them out here in a second and look at them.
Definitely.
I think the Cavalier, that's one of getting to be one of my favorite Condors.
Oh, really?
I love that knife. I think that's a sweet blade. And
so why do you keep calling it the Cavalier instead of Cave? What it's called? Cave Lore.
Cave Lore. Okay, Cave Lore. I don't know. I'm a redneck from North Carolina. We don't have.
No, that sounded a little bit more like hoity toity. Actually, it's the Cavalier.
The Cavalier.
Yes, I use it with my caviar. It works very well.
I'll blame Taylor for that. But here's one of your newest designs.
Oh yeah.
Super happy to have these in the shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's such a sweet little blade for like $50. It's a crazy good deal.
1075 high carbon steel, lifetime warranty. And the cool part is we've seen, or at least I've seen, like the evolution. Some of these knife companies, not just Condor, a lot of different companies are learning and taking the feedback from the knife community, whether that's Artisan or whether that's Condor or whether it's Tops. People do actually listen and they do watch the videos and go, okay, for instance, we have a whole new heat treat revolution that's about to happen at Condor, so we can dial in some really high quality steels at exact numbers.
So I have been telling these guys that one of the big reasons, besides you, one of the big reasons I carry Condor is they are ethically manufactured.
Yes.
They're real people making real knives and they're not like slaves sitting in China.
No,
So
no, it's really crazy too because it is El Salvador is a third world country. But when I talk with the workers, I know, kind of what they make. I'm not gonna say it because I can't really remember, but what they make based on the minimum wage there is
yeah,
incredible. And most of the guys there, like I've met many people who've worked there for more than 40 or 30 years,
wow,
more than 30 years, and many that have worked there almost 50. There are people there who have worked most of their lives, and even people on the floor. There are people who have put in like 20 years, doing the hammers and
hmm
stuff, and the same stuff that you would see maybe at in Gransford Bruck's video or
yeah,
something. So they're in it for the long run. In the back of the factory, there's like three or two soccer fields, and they have intramural stuff all the time, and they have things all the time for all the workers there too. They really do, treat them well, and they do want to work there. I've known a
yeah,
lot of different people there personally for over 14 years, 15,
yeah.
16 years since 2008, whatever that is in math. Um, so there are many people there that have still been working on the ground floor in the Condor area where it's all bougie, where at least they have all the nice belts and all the handmade stuff. So
That's awesome. Yeah, the Otzi. Can you tell us a little bit of the like your thoughts behind this and where it came from? Because
yeah,
I
so
mean, I know it's like the Iceman knife, and
mhm.
that's what we all call it. But tell me how and why.
So the a lot of the primitive skills guys who I hung out with, and still hang out with, Steve Watts formerly would refer to Utsi a lot, and then my really close friend Doug Meyer, who's a world-renowned flint knapper and primitive skills historian, would talk about it too. And I had to figure out, okay, what is this? This is like a hole in my bushcraft knowledge. And this was like years back and stuff, and I'm always obsessed with animals, so I never really learned too much about archaeology. It's the world's oldest mummy, the
Really?
world's oldest natural mummy. And it's basically a man found in the Alps in, I believe, the 90s, late 99 or in the 90s, frozen and completely really well kept. The hikers thought it was like a dead body or something, and they treated it like a crime scene, screwing up everything until they realized, holy cow, this was a natural, well preserved mummy. Since then, it's been an archaeological marvel. Some of the world's oldest tattoos, if not the oldest tattoos, were recovered from his skin. They
Hmm.
found out that he was murdered, I think, from behind or murdered before with an arrow. But all of his equipment was really, really well kept up, just like the movie Encino Man.
Hmm.
He wasn't frozen in a glacier,
Hmm.
but everything that all the conditions were perfect.
So is
And
this
because of that,
pretty accurate to the knife that he was carrying?
no, for the most part it is, but there's a lot of debate
Yeah.
because on the knife that he has, there's a broken tip, and they think that's for marcasite,
Hmm.
probably. They think for striking basically like a fool's gold to get that two rock spark.
Hmm.
And so I added what it looked like it was part of his EDC as a basic blade, not necessarily as a stabbing weapon, but something that he'd use. And I thought, okay, um, what would that look like today? And maybe not the chisel, because
Hmm.
trying to put out like a flint ground chisel wouldn't probably catch people's eye as much as what that
Sure.
would be. And so there's wrappings on it, made of a certain type of plant on each side of the handle. I use Condor's traditional braided wire wrap. I wanted to challenge Condor with the type of nap or type of look that was kind of pressed on. Actually, Taylor kind of helped me figure that out. We can't do it the same way Taylor does, where it's like
Yeah.
it takes forever. So we were able to figure out a stamped way that looks a little bit different, but was okay for smaller blades, and
Yeah.
helps with it as well. Still, the integrity of the blade is okay, but yeah, it's a great knife, and actually on the tang, it goes all the way to the back, pinned
Yep.
behind and underneath the secondary wire. Hold that up
Wow.
there to the camera. Yeah, it goes all the way. So at the very
Comes back
bottom,
here.
there's a pin. Yeah, that goes all the way through there. So You won't void the warranty. You can freaking baton with it.
Can you baton
That
with it?
was a collaboration between me and a dead guy.
There you go. Well,
It's designed by a mummy.
I love the I love the sheath and everything that they do. The sheath work is just so nice.
Yeah, the sheath work for El Salvador is amazing. You know, they have a lot of boot making and leather history.
Hmm.
And so I always joke about it, but they have like a whole cow on every single sheath. The sheaths are so nice that in Trinidad, in that last trip, when I was in the national park, there was a guy who had a fire hose on his Dooku machete. And I was like, hey, why didn't you want the leather thing out here? He was like, oh, it's too nice to bring out here. And we brought the machete, but he thought the leather was too nice. So he must have that for his like prom date or
So that's Sunday
something.
carry, right?
Yeah.
That's Sunday carry.
Hey, dude, do you have camo church near you?
What?
Yeah, like on the way up the mountain one time. This must be like our surrounding counties thing, but I saw camo church and with like a camouflage background, like every Wednesday, like 6 p.m. or something like that. I was like, I wonder how that would look like. I mean, I
You
love
should
camo.
go sometime.
Yeah, yeah,
Wear your tiger stripe.
definitely. You know, side note, they camo is illegal in Trinidad. And yeah, so you can't have like military camo. You can have like advantage camo. And so like my tiger stripe boots, all my cool beaver tiger stripe like side satchel and all of that stuff or tough possum, sorry, not beaver, was not allowed down there. So I had to like basically go almost gray man. And it was almost comical because I have so much camo.
Yeah, you've
That's
got
not
a lot
even
of
funny.
camo.
Yeah, it was like, God bless. I had to even change out my toiletry bag.
Overton's wanting to know if you flat grind a kukri, what boomerang?
Dude, let's find out. You just better have a metal, one of those chainmail gloves to be able to catch it.
Yeah.
And lock up your dog too, because you don't want him catching it like a frisbee.
Axiom says Baptist would definitely wear M81.
Baptist.
Yeah.
What's the M81? The knife?
That's the woodland camo. They would wear.
Oh,
woodland
okay.
Yeah, let's break out the Cavalier.
Yeah, the M81 camo, the woodland camo. I definitely like had
That's
like
my
3
favorite.
things that I could not put in there, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like even my most used swim trunks were like tiger stripe. My Crocs.
Boy.
I had to bring my Birkin Crocs. They're like plastic Crocs.
They yeah, you're in big trouble. So this guy right here.
Oh, the cave lore. Yes.
The cave lore. So what's the deal with it?
All right, so imagine you're a troglodyte, a man who used to live out in the caves, but you read Morris Kahansky's book and you want a 4-inch blade with a 4-inch handle with the point down the center line, full tang, and you wanted it to look cool. So you flint napped it like crazy, like you were the guy in Hunted, right? And then you made the like tracker version all flint napped, and then you had a company go make it, and that's what I did. So basically, it's like the Otzi knife, the Otzi, and the techniques that we got from the Otzi kind of combined with a really bestseller called the Bush lore.
Oh yeah,
and that's where the cave lore came up. So it takes a lot of these things that you put in many different knives that people like. Something about yay hand width, about the width of your hand a little bit longer, and right around there for that, and then put that together in a more primitive look. That's really fun for knives. You know, how do you make something look cyberpunk yet still make it look functional or look like a caveman did it?
It makes so much more sense now called the cave lore.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody put a link to the cave lore in the chat.
Cavity lore.
The Cavalier.
The Cavalier. Do you have any Grey Poupon? No, but I got a Cavalier.
I love that.
So
thing.
there's a lot of examples of taking different styles and putting them together. This would be the Scandi Carta. and that's
Yeah.
more of like that antler Scandinavian style knife that the Sami reindeer herders would
Hmm.
use, but also make it full tang instead of through antler and with G10 at the back.
Yep.
So just taking a little bit of ideas from one thing and putting them into another and seeing how they turn out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not so perfect.
I've
So
got some. I've got some of those as well. I didn't bring that one out, dude. I have so many different Condor models. It's
let's get
crazy,
them all sold out.
dude. They sell. I order all the time. I order all
Woo!
the time. Somebody said, Axiom said, the Bushcott is a beautiful knife as well. I agree.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
love.
Do I have one on the table here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at my table, and if I have it, or at least some of the references.
No, you've got 3 different options to click the Kevlar link. We've had 3 people go out and get it for us.
There's a book called Scan Dudes. Am I allowed to put a no, I can't put a comment in here though, right?
Sure. Yeah, you can. Just make sure
How
you
do I do
choose
that?
the right channel. Like choose YouTube.
Ooh. Hey, Taylor's on. He's a researching son of a gun. There's a book called Scan Dudes and Dirks of the Scottish Highlanders. And so I used that book to start. I'm looking for it now to see if it's within the vicinity of my library. But it's a book that I went to look up the Scottish Highland typical type of knife called the Scandu, and wanted to put my own spin on it and make it a little bit more bushcrafty. We don't have access to 1,000-year-old swamp bog oak all the time, and that's traditionally what the Scandus are made out of. And so we used hickory and made that same style sheath that they would use to put in their sock. There's special terms from this I can't remember right now, but it made it a little bit more robust for bushcraft. Some guys like to bushcraft in their kilts too, so I made that for them as well. But it's also a really handy everyday carry knife that can still do a lot of bushcraft tasks.
I've just never got the kilt thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
something I
Dan
must.
Eastland. I just look at Dan Eastland and I'm like, I mean, I can't beat
Yeah,
that. I can't beat
yeah,
that.
it's just stones, I guess, or comfort too.
Yeah.
Man, he'll even wear it in the bush too sometimes. He never brought it down to the jungle, I think. He's been down there 9 times now, I think, and he's never brought those. Oh, I know why, because of the ants.
Yeah. It's like easy access for bugs.
Yeah, it really is. That's the type of stuff where you see it like, a bunch of gnats fly around the rear end of a dog or something.
Oh,
That's the type of weather you would see.
yeah.
If you were in a jungle situation with him and his kilt. No,
Yeah. So how did you get into all this jungle mess?
man, I really love zoology, and
But tell us. A lot of these guys may not know exactly who you are. For one, I should
oh,
have introduced you and gave you a little
hi,
bit
I'm
better
Joe.
introduction. But
Right now, I have all 10 of my fingers. That's all
Yeah.
you need to really know.
But you're an actual zoologist, right? Like
Yeah, but not being paid for it right now. So
yeah.
I have a degree. I'm Joe Flowers. I have a degree in zoology, and a minor in entomology. I worked for the Department of Entomology for NC State here in North Carolina for a little while as like a field technician and all of that too. I'm not in academia right now per se, although I'm always on expeditions and we're working on new species of who knows what. And I always have a chance to be on some of those expeditions. So I really like bugs and creepy crawlies, but I also like blades. And basically, where you put those together is the jungle in the southeast. So I really love, southern Florida, the Amazon jungle, of course, with my Bushcraft Global expeditions, where I take people down the Amazon and introduce them to the jungle with my friend Goran of Tanamboka Knives, and show them places in Peru, Brazil, and Colombia where you can use knives and have a really wonderful time out. And we're in an area where most people think it's a green hell. And then I get to go play with animals out there and play with machetes. And I like doing that a lot. El Salvador invited me to come down. And so now I've been designing for Condor for about 15 or so years. I've lost count. I also designed for Tops knives. Tops actually helped me get down to the jungle with Bushcraft Global. You can find out all of that stuff about how I originally got down to Colombia, Peru, and Brazil in that area on Discovery Channel's Expedition from Hell,
Yeah. If you hadn't
where I
watched
had a
that, you
part.
should definitely go watch it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah. It's not about me. It's about this crazy guy who went from one side of South America to the other.
You'll be so pissed off the entire show until
Yeah,
Joe shows up. And
it's
then
pretty
it's just
hilarious.
it's better.
That and on that trip, that's where I met Goran, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Dude, you should come down a lot because I love knives." And I was like, "Oh, I do too." And so that started up. Um, and then, long story short, that's been my life since then. I wrote for a lot of knife magazines, Tactical Knives, Backpacker Magazine, a bunch of magazines that aren't in print anymore, and then got a lot of knowledge about the market and about using knives. I like surrounding myself with people who really, really use knives every day, like the people in Trinidad. That's one of the biggest reasons I went down there, and one of the biggest reasons I became friends with my friend who owns a knife shop down there, because he's a big knife nerd, like all of us probably
Yeah.
are. And I've had some wonderful friends help me along the way in the knife industry and in the knife world, like you, like Taylor, and just being a big sponge. And it's worked out real well.
I mean, you've designed an
It
incredible
covers
amount of
everything.
knives. Yeah.
Pardon?
You've designed an incredible amount of knives. How many do you
Yeah.
think that you're knocking on right now?
Pardon?
How many designs do you think you've done?
Oh, I don't know anymore, guys. Like I
It's gotta
know it's
be
over
insane.
150.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, oh, it's easily over that, but I counted once and then it kind of got to my head. I designed for Condor Tool and Knife, where I do most of their designing, a good 80, 75%. Tops Knives. I helped out with the Brothers of Bushcraft. I'm one of four Brothers of Bushcraft. That's their field, their BOB knife. The Brachimo is mine. I also designed for Artisan, CGRB, Work Tough, BPS knives coming out, and Shade Indonesia. Oh, I got that big kukri right over there. I could go grab it.
Go get it.
Okay,
Go
hold
get
on
the
one
big
second.
cookery. All right, now's your chance to talk about Joe. Any negative comments you want to put in, just go ahead and do it now.
Got it.
Nope, he's back.
Don't run with knives, guys. So Shade Indonesia. Indonesia really knows their kukris and stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah, they could handle some wild designs that every other company was afraid of, but they really
Look
know
at
the
that.
grinds, man. This thing is way thinner than it looks.
That's
Way,
crazy
way
looking.
thinner. Let me go ahead and shut that door over there. I apologize. So, why not bring a crazy design to a kukri culture who knows how to make it cut? I just got it right before I went to Trinidad. So I'm about to test it right now. Not here during the thing, but probably tomorrow on frozen knots, especially frozen pine knots. Those can really mess up a blade. Wow, this really like messes with the lighting too. So a frozen pine knot or frozen hemlock, by the way, guys, can really mess up even the finest axe. So you want to be careful when you're chopping conifers. There's a couple of other ones out there, but now that it's getting cold out there, especially to all you guys getting hit by this storm, watch it when you're chopping and splitting. Maybe use some of your lower Rockwell axes in really cold weather. Yeah, that's just what I do.
Yeah. Speaking of axes, I just picked up this brand. I think he's in the chat. There's a brand called Fire Creek Forge. I just picked up, and he's an axe maker and a knife maker, but he makes very classic, very, very classic designs like Nesmic's, Kephart's.
Wow.
Really, really cool. And then some iterations off of those. I mean, and then some of his own designs, but
have
he's
you
an axe maker. And I've sold out every single axe that I've got from him just as soon as they come in. But I've got a shipment that should be here. It'll probably be here tomorrow, I would imagine. But I'm holding back a couple of them because I want you to look at them.
Sure.
Let me see them. They are. I can just take and shave my arm with them. They're the grinds are very Swedish like very nice and thin and slicey, and dude, they're wicked, man. But the ones I've got coming, which I've had already before, is a bushcraft carving axe.
Oh wow,
And so
fantastic!
super dude, I absolutely love them. But they're the freaking sharpest thing in the store. I was on the live stream the other night and I was just like, you could just take it and just shave the hair off.
Woo!
It's wicked, man.
Man, those carving axes
Uh,
are something else. Have you seen an influx of axe makers recently?
dude, I haven't. Not personally. But I haven't been looking either. You
Because
know,
it used to be only a few in the US.
true,
And
true.
then
There is definitely more now. Yeah,
yeah, and it's kind of amazing to see that because the only big axe making company is Council
yeah,
Tool in the United
yeah,
States. Well, maybe Vaughn
yeah.
too. Taylor might be able to chime in.
Taylor's the axe expert
Yeah, yeah,
when
definitely. I
it
just
comes
kind
to
of
the
devoted all to Taylor.
axe history is like he's scary.
Yeah, he's real good at it
Yeah.
too. Man,
Um,
remember all the times when we could name like every single knife we saw on a table?
yeah.
That was awesome.
That's speaking of Taylor, this is like something right up his alley right here.
Oh yeah, the indigenous man. What a cool design.
I love what they're doing with the engraving on these.
I think if I did this right, yeah. Here's the that's the original first sketch of the
Oh, look at
indigenous.
that.
Yeah, I kind of had that over there. It was just kind of visualizing and trying to figure out how to do it. We changed it up because the curvature was a little bit hard.
Yeah.
I have a prototype that way. That's done this way, but that's my special one. So the lasers have changed up a little bit over time to make it easier. But that's that whole Maori and Scandinavian combination going on there.
It's a let's see.
I can't believe I had that ready to go because that's probably like a 8-year-old thing, and so who knows how old that iteration was. But there's a whole pile of notebooks over there, and I was like, I just saw that.
Here's an axe lesson from Taylor. Vaughn isn't a standalone company anymore, I don't believe. Pretty sure
Oh yeah,
Council is the only one left.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
But yeah, he's I've really, with the store we are getting really really close to opening the actual
really?
with the actual brick and mortar. We're getting
So
really really close.
January or February?
It'll be February.
Okay.
The last of January, 1st of February. But the axe thing, I've kind of held off a little bit on like stocking more axes just until I get the brick and mortar because I've got this idea for like a big axe display behind the counter, all this stuff. And I think with axes, it's a lot of fun to be able to pick one up. Like I don't know, I'm just like that, to some degree, I guess. But yeah, so when the store opens, we're going to expand the culinary section of the website and then the axe section. But
wow, just having like a little axe boutique
yeah,
area is something that would attract
and
some of the crazy people coming down the roads of
yeah,
77 or something going, hey, wait a
and
second.
I'd love to get some of Julia's axes in here too.
Yeah. Oh man,
Dude,
what a fantastic maker.
no kidding.
Every single one comes.
You have yours?
Yeah, mine's in the. I can go get it if you want it.
Oh,
But
it comes with the.
it comes with the warranty sheet too that I keep by my light too, and they're all numbered. So it's really cool. So when not in use, oil the head and handle and store in room temperature. Keep your axe sharp for safer and more fun carving. Use sharp tools with great care at your own risks.
There you go.
So yeah, each one comes with a little kind of custom made thing, and she does all the handles herself. So it's a really really cool axe with her own axe. So she make the design.
Got a question there for you.
Yes, it is a good cleaving kitchen knife. There are better cleavers out there though, depending on what kind of stuff you're cleaving. So it's like a good beginner cleaver.
Yeah.
It has a meteor edge. If you get really fine at cleaving, you might want to start. After coming from Trinidad, I am convinced about the FDIC cleavers, and they just kick butt. A lot of FDIC stuff does some amazing stuff, but they have different grinds. Stuff for really thin things that costs like X number of money, and then stuff for like really,
Yeah.
really thick. The
The
Condor,
Condor is great for $40.
yeah, definitely. Is
It
that how
really
much
is.
the Condor is?
It's like $40. Yeah.
Wow, dang, I can't believe that.
It's a great that, or I've got it priced wrong. I don't think so.
Could be.
But
I was thinking of the Cleaver kitchen knife. I
Yeah.
might be thinking of the wrong one. If I'm thinking of the one with the micarta handle, I could be off.
no, I don't think it's micarta.
Top Silent Hero. No, I did not design the Top Silent Hero, but that is an excellent knife.
Yeah.
I love a Puko. Boy, I do too. I love Pukos that Taylor Grind makes. I'm looking to the right and seeing all the questions
Yeah.
too, by the way.
Yeah. Taylor is like Mr. Puko Man.
Yeah, definitely.
And I personally, like, for me to use, I'm not the biggest Puko guy. But Taylor made me a leather stacked Puko, like more of a Norwegian, I guess, style, or
Yeah.
like leather stacked Puko. That thing was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. He's he's going to be 5 doors down from the shop now.
Yeah.
Like, just right, like literally, we could almost throw a rock and hit his shop, which I wish I could do.
Or a slingshot.
A slingshot. Yeah.
That's it. We're just going to have a bell right out there near something that's not glass, and have a slingshot bell like that we have to ring or something
glass.
like that. Perfect.
Glass right through his window.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, dude, you could get stuff from Simple Shot in your shop because they're in Asheville.
I know. I love their stuff.
Yeah, he's a great dude to hang out with as well. Nathan Masters. He's a heck of a slingshot dude. And then we could get Taylor on a crazy micarta slingshot kick, and he'd take all that thick micarta in his new shop, and he'd have a whole nother thing to obsess about.
I know.
He'd make a micarta Puko slingshot.
So I'm actually looking at kind of expanding Ridge Runner into kind of a knife supply, but only vintage micarta.
Oh, right. I mean, you can just do it all with Taylor's ridiculous dragon horde of micarta that he has.
I have a really good hookup for. So it's a guy that tears down old factories.
Yes,
and he demos all these old factories, and so he's been collecting all this micarta for me. I've got some micarta wheels that was made, rag micarta wheels that was made in Charlotte. That I have literally access to hundreds of them.
Wait, is this whole guy from Charlotte?
No, he's local to me. And
but
he ended up with like so the manufacturer that was in Charlotte that made all those, I have like half a container of those.
Yeah, are they dead? Are they gone?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, that sucks. I used to jump in those dumpsters.
Well, I have tons of the wheels, and so we're going to start making some like limited Ridge Runner stuff out of this vintage micarta too. So pretty stoked about it.
I've got like 500 pounds of that stuff too. Not the wheels. Not the wheels.
I love that golden look of the wheels. Like when you it's golden rag.
Not that stuff. This is just scrape off.
But you can only make smaller stuff with it. Like you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty stoked about it. What's new? What's coming out that nobody knows about yet?
Crazy. He's going to be just trying to buy all the micarta off of you by selling you product.
Shoot, yeah. We'll
Hey, DH asks, is there going to be grand opening party?
Yes, we're going to do a grand opening party.
When? Because
I don't know. We're gonna get the store done first. I have been pushing this out for so long. It's been taking. So I actually bought Ridge Runner a year ago this month. So I've only
now you're like, screw it.
Well, we just haven't been able to get there.
Yeah,
and so it's just been it's been a little bit of it's been a little frustrating. I'm like Mr. Super Optimistic, and this year is beating the ever loving crap out of me. Like it's beat the optimism out of me a little bit, just because it's like everything takes way more time. Than what I think it should.
Yeah, especially if you're an entrepreneur like yourself, it's going to eat away at you because it's going to be hard to turn it off.
I don't turn it off.
Exactly.
I never do. It just doesn't turn off.
It's making knives That's one thing, guys. All you hobbyists, when you make knives your job, you are diving into them. I
Yeah.
am literally surrounded by knives right now. So is
Yep.
he. Boxes of them.
Yep.
And you can put them on his blankets, use them as carpet.
Yeah.
Your life is knives.
My life is knives, and
True.
which is great. I love knives. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a party. We're gonna actually open up about 3.5 acres of our farm here for camping. And so we're gonna have We're gonna have like a band out. We're gonna have. So we'll probably push the grand opening to March, something like
Okay,
that.
cool.
Like just some where it's not so stupid cold, but it's not hot. We'll do it in a nice time of year. So we'll have the big party, and yeah, Overton will have to come out. He's in Montana, so
Oh, dude. I got a few dates open in March right now.
heck yeah. Well, too, like we were talking the other day, it sounds like I'm going to all the Overland events this year.
Yeah. That's
That's
another
gonna be-
thing too. I barely look at those in the things and figure out, wait a second, Pacific Northwest means we have to fly out.
I ain't flying. I have to drive.
Yeah, shoot.
I mean, so I have to drive there. So
Well,
yeah,
you guys make the Radio Made Easy Jeep up, and you guys can take my car. It's covered under anybody that I insure.
why don't you just go with us? Just drive,
I
make a road
will.
trip.
Blah, 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 family time. Blah, blah.
Hey, then we can swing through Montana and go shoot like 4 miles with Overton.
Nice. Oh man.
So
Tell me about good time. We'll have to do all the logistics there. Definitely Overland Nieces in the calendar, but I think
so what's all this travel you've got going on? What's the deal?
it's just it's just more stuff. Trinidad was something I just wanted to do, real quick. SHOT Show. That's something a lot of the knife industry has to do every year. But something new for me this year is IWA, an international weapons show in Germany, which is kind of like SHOT Show that Condor has a booth at. And this is the first year ever in my life. They've told me, hey, you need to go. And so I'm going to IWA too. I'm not actually going to the jungle this year. Peter Magnan is going down as a solo trip with a bunch of people because I want to try and expand. I'm doing a veterans canoe trip with Peter Magnan actually in February, which is in Florida, and that should be real fun. And then the Bushcraft Show in England, which will be really cool because I want to get out, and there's a lot of stuff happening between England and the U.S. We're starting to expand a lot more. People are starting to realize how big stuff is. Hey, Taylor!
What's up, Joe?
Tons of travel. That's kind of the name of the game.
So Taylor is our surprise guest.
Woohoo!
Surprise!
Taylor!
I'm still awake. That's a surprise.
I know it's past 8 o'clock.
I wasn't prepared.
Oh yeah, I got a Joe Flowers axe. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if this is legal to show. I guess it is.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. No, you're absolutely fine selling that. That's awesome. That is a rarity. And that was a pain in the butt to keep my baggage under 50 pounds hauling that back.
That thing's like 6 or 7 pounds, probably.
Yeah. So
What are we looking at?
This is I mean, Imakasa made this, right?
Correct. That is Imakasa. So this is kind of the history with machetes and axes. Is there's a rich heritage of trading names. So, for instance, like a custom axe might have just a small mark here. A lot of times, like Collins was really big with axes and machetes, and they started to branch out after a while and sell just their name. So you'll see like a machete with a bugle on it, and they'll be made in El Salvador or Costa Rica or something like that. But the original Collins were made in Connecticut, and they got a real crazy legendary status to the point where people would always buy the name. And when that happened, they were able to sell marks of stuff. So only in certain countries, Imakasa can sell under the Collins brand, but the Collins conglomerate, went and bought them, and it's above my head. Someone explained to me one time, Taylor, and I have it all on a voice audio thing.
Yeah, it's whoever bought Nicholson Files' name also bought the Collins name for like South American export or
Exactly.
not export, but whatever they keep in those countries.
Yeah. So you'll like the bugle one, corneta, is a really, really common one that you'll see like made in Guatemala or made in Colombia, made in Brazil, and made in El Salvador too for machetes.
Yeah.
But when you see that, when I saw that Collins, I was like, oh my gosh, are they still doing Collins? Yep. Have you bushcraft in Ghana? Not yet. Give it time.
Ghost, are you from Ghana? I didn't know that. Yeah, they So Taylor, why don't you break
Ghana
out
has a
something that you've been?
coastline though. That could be fun. As long as there's nothing bad out in the waters, that could be real fun.
Why don't you
So
show
what?
something that you've been working on?
Yeah, show us your newest project.
Oh God. How about these haven't been shown at all yet?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, there you go. I
Look
said
at that
Mr.
pudgy
Puko.
little Puko.
Little baby Puko.
That's awesome.
These are all nasty because I'm still in the process of grinding, but they even have the nap texture on the spine.
Dude, are you going to do that hexagonal Puko style?
Yes. On
Let me
these
go
I am.
grab mine. I have it right downstairs while you're talking about that real quick.
Do you have the Tipio Wakia?
Yeah, version. Yeah.
I love that
Yours.
knife.
One that you did.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had one.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go grab that real quick while you're talking about it, 'cause that's what we're doing that.
I got those. I got the bluegills coming down the line here.
Oh, praise the Lord.
I know. I got 10, so it's going to be a snatch and grab for whoever wants one.
Yep.
Little stack here. I got a whole bunch of gars back there that are all dirty and nasty, and I'm working on some of the Pisgahs too. The lighting
Yeah.
here is just terrible,
There you go.
but there's the full size knife.
Look at that.
So got a lot going on at the moment. The shop is ground zero, for lack of a better term.
Ready to get you in your new shop, man.
I know that's part of the reason why it's in such a bad mess because I've been. Oh yeah, that's the full size Gatkin. I've got some of those too. So this is pretty much the same knife, just shrunk down.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
I don't know the length. I can't remember, but it's pretty small. I mean,
Yeah, but it's still like a 3-finger jobber. It looks great.
yeah.
Here, like a 3-finger knife would be more or less something along that line. So, oh yeah, man, I want one.
It's about the same size. It's weird, is because like the bluegill is about the same size, but you can get a full grip on the bluegill.
Yeah.
But not the Puko. So it's a 3-finger.
The back of the tip or the back of this part, the pommel or something right around here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's around the pommel. I bet that's it.
And I've got big hands.
Dude,
You do
what
have
are
big
you doing
hands.
for the snow?
I'm going to be in the shop all weekend, so I won't even see the snow probably. Been dealing with a little issue on this batch, so I'm a little behind. So I'm working over the weekend this weekend.
Man, I'm sorry. Is it 80 CRV2?
It is. And luckily, it's not anything crazier, or this issue would be a lot different. So making it happen.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's
he called me today. Taylor was literally crying on the phone.
I was not crying.
My phone started dripping tears. I was like, "Good Lord!"
No, I just should have checked before. I'm not going to go into the whole issue, but I should have checked ahead of time. It's my own fault.
I mean, that's the best way to treat a carbon steel is to cry all over it if you mess it up, and then
it's a great patina.
Retemper it or repatina it.
And I know some people are really looking forward to this, and I am not. But I did buy a sheet of hardened pea for you guys.
Is that Ultim?
It is. The last live stream me and Jason did, I said I wasn't going to use it again, and apparently everyone took that as a challenge. So
What? All right. So please, I'm a dummy. Explain to me why people like this. Because to me, it looks like crappy yellow tape that was
I
left
love
on a
it.
1970s Polaroid to hold it in like a
It's
scrap.
it's one of my favorite handle materials.
Why?
I really don't know why it's popular. It doesn't have anything.
Overton said that it's the same material they use for crush washers and A10 engines, so that's a
Yeah,
good enough reason to like it.
It was designed for the automotive industry. And I think Mitsubishi is who developed the material. It was supposed to be a high heat resistant crush proof material of some sort. I don't know the entire history,
But
but they
it's
don't
real
use it.
easy to polish and get all the scratches out of.
Yeah, all weird. Yeah.
Believe that.
No,
And
it's
what-
super.
You have
It's,
to. You can't pin it.
No, you can. It's like it's like glass. It's super hard. It's super hard to get scratches out of. You have to go all the way to 3,000 grit. You have to buff it. So it's not my thing, but I'm
Dude,
doing
it's
it.
really like there's someone in the industry who's like, let's figure out some reason to do some pain in the ass stuff to make out of a handle. And let's make it popular.
yeah,
Like
A
how
lot
they
of the
make golf.
it's probably one of the hottest handle materials out there right now.
it definitely
Why?
is. It's probably the
looks
most
sick.
popular at the moment.
It looks sick. It just looks
Oh,
so
man.
good.
I gotta see it. 'Cause
Speaking-
it just looks like
He made a
Oki
bluegill, and people out of Ultimate, people were literally fighting over the stupid thing. And somebody even talked me out of my prototype.
Oh, really?
I had the prototype bluegill, and somebody talked me out of it. And
Speaking
so-
of other pain in the ass materials, I'm still gonna.
Oh no.
I still got about 20 pieces of this stuff left. So there will be a few in this batch. If I'm gonna make it hard on myself, I might as well go all the way with the Trout Micarta.
I love that stuff.
I mean, it's
How
really
hard is that to
cool.
polish? It's not as bad as Ultim though, right?
You can't polish this really. I mean, it's softer than
Just beat
normal.
blast it.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
what I did on
kinda
the
like
last
hand
ones.
thing?
No, that's paper.
Okay.
This is like it's some kind of canvas. I don't know what G.I. Hansen's using, but this stuff is like soft and gummy almost, even though it's technically like, hard.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get it like a little bit warm, start grinding into it, it turns into like chewing gum.
Wow.
So it's up there with Ultim on list of material that I want to use, but I've got
Yeah.
No, we're
I
gonna
got
send
500 perks of it.
we're gonna send that Ultim Gar to Overton, and you'll have to make about 200 more of them.
I better buy a CNC machine or something.
All right. So for me, this has been the year of fire hose. And it all started at LT Wright's booth, where he had some kind of new machete that he's doing, all made in the U.S. And they were trying to figure out a cheap sheath system, and they figured out fire hose because a couple of their friends apparently have used this before. And now I started seeing it in Trinidad. The Navy SEAL guy who I hung out with was like, "Yeah, we use that all the time." Some other guy who I just talked with who's coming on trip is like, "I'll make it out of fire hose." So now, like, I'm waiting to see like the micarta fire hose.
You're behind a little bit.
Pardon?
There's already a fire hose, Micarta. You're a little behind.
Okay,
I
cool.
figured you would know that.
Oh man, no, but there should be one that's like injected to where there's like it's not heavy, it's not like layered or something. Because apparently that stuff's bulletproof.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Yeah, Shade Tree Composites was doing fire hose, Micarta.
Of course, he's a great dude, man.
Oh,
I
it's the Canola Jola.
Yeah, it's Nulu Julu.
I think in Overland, someone said that box says Canola Jola. Canola Jola.
Oh, guys. Okay,
That was
listen.
my
All right.
fault. I'm trying to name some of these is really hard. That was a collaboration between me and what's his name? This would have been Jorge Humana. And with Jorge Numana, I tried to figure out some way to put Joe in there and Jorge and then all that together and then an Ulu and then it became the Nulu Julu. And it was
This
really easy to say in Latin America, but not so much here. And it's basically just like a rocking style camp knife to
it's
where you
become
have
my
to do a
camp
lot of
kitchen
general
knife.
rocking maneuvers and stuff. It's okay in the kitchen, and we use ours in the kitchen quite
It's
a
good in the
bit.
kitchen, and it's
Um,
stainless.
Yep, all stainless. We might be updating it too because we were going to actually kill it the other day, the
No,
other year, and started doing really well again too.
yeah, it's
So it's
great.
really good for the chef's pinch grip,
Yeah.
which a lot of people know in a lot of different knives, like I'm
Hmm.
demonstrating with Taylor's here. It's really good for that type of maneuver. If people really like use knives with their forefingers a lot, that one worked really well. But it's not necessarily one that would please a lot of traditional chef knife users, more than primary primitive camp knife users like me, just hack apart meat and then are.
Yeah. Well, you also need a you also might need to do some actual other camp work with it too.
Yeah, yeah, that's the guys out in the chef world don't really well maybe except for Dan Eastland, of course. Um, don't use those crazy high grind knives in the field around bone.
Patrick Taylor only drinks tequila mixed with lemonade.
That was non-alcoholic, Patrick. It's sober. It's dry January. Isn't that what they call it? Dry January. You
I've
don't
got
drink this month.
a stupid idea of putting hot chocolate in a steel cup and just been burning the crap out of myself every time I say it.
Here's one I haven't really shown much on the channel, but I've sold quite a few of them. It's a bush scott.
Oh yeah, that's that scan do style. You
It
got a lot of
is.
stuff interesting there. Point down the center line, full
Mm-hmm.
tang that a lot of people like
Nice.
on a bushcraft or hard use knife.
A nice sheath for it too. Nice little net carry sheath.
Yeah,
It's a
and
nice
the
little
sheath
rig.
style is meant to kind of put or tuck away in something, so it can be used on the neck, but also you can attach it many different ways to
Yeah.
other things too, just to make it like a dangler or stick it in the boot.
I love the size of this
14C,
thing.
28N.
It's really cool. I like it.
It's pointy too. You have to use a tip a lot on the knife. Sometimes, if you don't have a good tip, you start to miss it. It doesn't mean that tipless knives don't have their place or ones with much more robust stuff. But like this traditional puko that Taylor's made before,
Mm-hmm.
still has that tip at the end that you can use to really dig out. At least for me, thorns, splinters, things like that, where it's really, really important. Tippy blades are something that I really like to incorporate into a lot of my survival knives, but as a designer, I don't make sure I have a tippy, knife on every design. For instance, I'm trying to look for one here. This one isn't as tip heavy as say maybe the Work Tough Ninjuko, which is
Yeah.
kind of like a Ninja Puko, or
I love that knife.
like what were you calling this one? The Rowan?
No, that's the Yadkin.
Yadkin.
Yeah.
So are you gonna name one after every county in North Carolina?
No, but I do have quite a few different North Carolina named knives. I was trying to do that with most of them. It's like regional and fish.
Yeah,
That's kind of
there,
like what I
don't
was
forget there's
trying
a
to
lot
hit.
of double check each tribe to make sure they're not gonna sue you or anything. But there's a lot of North Carolina tribes that would be pretty cool too, like the what was that, Rappahannock or the maybe not the Lumbee,
So,
for instance.
so I was trying to figure out some of those names that wouldn't be like a nightmare for everyone to pronounce.
You are
So,
the
so what?
Uari when you see it spelled correctly.
Yeah, that's why the URE knife I do is URE, like the
Yeah,
stickers. Because looking at that word spelled, if you're not from around here, you wouldn't know what that is. So I got the URE, I got the Pisgah, which was a native tribe, and then I got the Kohari, which I haven't made those except for those first three. So Yadkin, I think, was a native thing too.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
You know,
and so is
there's
Rowan.
Here.
a bunch too.
It's
Doug
it's
Meyer would be.
it's totally okay for him to do native stuff. He's. He
Yeah.
is part Indian, so.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
not the
good.
7-Eleven kind.
He
The
just froze as soon as he said
Vietnam.
that. He just froze.
Pat would said the Vietnam.
Vietnam.
That's the knife that would probably get stolen the quickest.
Dang, we
Hey,
lost
is
Taylor.
everybody's feed working?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Is
Yeah.
Taylor frozen?
Taylor's frozen. There he is.
Is Pat
He's
I
back.
think I'm
frozen
back.
more? And that comes tomorrow at 1:00. Boom.
Oh, he froze again. The reason is Taylor refuses to get with modern times and get an iPhone. He wants to
Oh, he
have.
doesn't need an iPhone. Come on.
He
He's
likes
gonna
these.
You've got mail.
He likes these antiquated devices.
No,
Okay, I'm here.
the Android S24 is an amazing device.
Am I here now?
Oh, you're
Yes,
there.
sir. Just saying,
Okay.
I survived this whole time. Somehow.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's showing I'm running at full speed, so I don't know.
How fast is that?
268 Mbps.
What miles per hour?
35.
A whole gigabyte.
A little under the speed limit. So
Well,
it's a little slow.
Joe, what are you excited about this year? Like knife wise?
Oh man,
You got anything cool coming out that you can't tell anybody about?
I've got a bunch of stuff coming out, but I'm more excited to see what New Jersey Steel Baron's going to do about
What do you mean?
all the new stuff from Crucible. Because Crucible going under doesn't just mean Magna Cut.
Oh, it means everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of really Vanex and Rex or
I don't think. I mean, there might be a period of time where stuff's hard to get, but somebody's going to buy Crucible. They're not. I mean, there's too much there. I mean, that's one of those things where you have to look at it and say, how are you in this bad of shape? For one, there has had to be some very poor management. I mean, especially coming out with stuff like Magna Cut, the hottest thing on the market. I mean, they've made S35, which has been the go-to steel for so many makers and companies forever. You're telling me that you're going under? That's something's up with that. I don't get it. I don't think it's a I don't think it's I think there's been some fishy stuff going on. That's my personal opinion. Just because there's just no. I mean, they're only having to appeal to one market, and they own it. They own it. They own that market, and I mean, either there's just been some bad management. It has to be.
that's what it comes down to. Probably is bad management.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I've heard that with other companies too, other knife companies that went down, and people had to buy over and stuff too. Legendary knife companies.
Yeah.
And it's very sad to see that, especially in the manufacturing world.
Yeah.
You know, you have to see that, and a lot of manufacturers are hanging on a thread right now. That's why, El Salvador is in a really cool place for OEM, because a lot of different manufacturers are really really dying and don't want to go to China and stuff too. It's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
kind of crazy to see that change. I'm really excited to see in the knife world. I'm excited to see people make economic knives that are hardcore again.
Huh. Wow. Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, people's been doing that overseas for a while, but it'll be interesting to see if people can do it here.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a big thing for me to see. I'm excited to see what new stuff definitely is going to be coming out at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
And really paying attention hard to the knife world that way. But sometimes it happens so quick. I have to get on like Instagram and like go like that or require like my friends or you guys in the community, everybody here, to say, "Hey, Joe, go check out this thing made out of Beskar and stuff too." So you never know, like, what's going to come out, and
Well, what
it's a
I mean,
slow process. It's never like, bam, this day
yeah.
everybody did this.
Well, I think it'll be an interesting. I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be an interesting year for
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh, I
I
know what I'm most excited about. Holy crap. Not to get political or anything, but the Mark Zuckerberg talking about, hey, dude, we're going to start,
yeah,
reeling back, Facebook and in the
Instagram.
Instagram, banning and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe we get to see, maybe guys in the knife community, we can see each other's knife picks again
yeah,
and stuff.
yep,
Man,
yep,
I was stuck at like 1,700 Instagram followers for like 3 years,
Yeah.
and I just crossed 2,000 in the past, like right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I got like 300 in a month, but I've never put much into Instagram either. But I was still at the same number for like 3 years.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, even like today, I started doing a reel, and they were like, "Oh, a trial reel," and I was like, what the heck is a trial reel?" And it's where they send it to non-followers first. And I'm like, "Whoa, I gotta save all that." But I've got so much, there's so much stuff that would be really cool
yeah,
to start pushing towards if we could have some chill. I mean,
yeah,
what they got, like Mark Zuckerberg was talking with Dana White or something.
yeah.
So
Well, yeah, and so maybe things are just I would love to see the economy. I felt it, like the store, like being in retail. I have felt that. I have felt the economy this past year hard, and it hit really in about July and
mhm.
August. Like you could tell people didn't have money. Like the people who were typically spending money, they just ran out. Credit cards maxed out. I don't. They just weren't spending money,
Right,
and
right.
so I'm excited for the. I'm excited to see the economy get better. I'm excited to see people have money again. You know,
Yeah.
just and which I mean, with an election year anyway, you're going to have an instability. Doesn't matter what or who. It's always going to be that way. But just happened to be the first year, I own the business. But I like what
Yeah, and
Patrick
that,
says here. 2025 is the year of the small knife maker.
woo,
I
you
love
hear
it.
that, Taylor?
I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, dude, and
Yeah,
that you're like the octopus with all the arms here that's
yeah,
able to grab all the small makers and keep them afloat. So that's
yeah,
like very important too. And
yep,
I think that's even nicer too, having a select, a group of people like fine
yeah,
barbers at a
yeah.
special shop or something.
What was your biggest lesson? What did you learn? What was the biggest learning experience you had in 2024?
Ooh, what a good! There's so many. Um, I would say to appreciate downtime
Yeah,
at shows a lot more instead of going go 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 like at Blade Show. Like 2 years back, this year, I learned to go. Okay, I'm gonna go peace out for like an hour and eat lunch,
yeah,
alone and save my voice and stuff. And so I think learning how to pace myself a little bit more at events has
yep,
helped quite a bit. But also having family at these events is
yeah.
super fun.
It's
Really
cool.
is.
It's cool seeing your kids at these things. Your kids
Yeah.
are so well behaved.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Nah,
After about 5 days with them during this snow drive, I'm ready to
I
put
mean,
them
as well
into
behaved
a
as a pack of
rhododendron
coyotes.
hell on a sled. But
Yeah,
you know,
you know. Um, the
in a good way.
but yeah,
So I guess I learned to travel with my family more. That'd
that's
be it.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, they're getting up to the age too where it probably gets a little easier.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
I got
And
I
it's
got to meet
not going to always
Mrs.
be that norm, but it's just this year, I
Yeah,
think.
I got to meet Mrs. Flowers for the first time,
Yes.
and
That poor
so
lady.
Oh, she's a saint.
she is a saint. I agree. Taylor,
And
what was your biggest learning experience for 2024?
yeah,
Mm, it's probably to slow down.
pacing yourself.
Yeah, and not being a workaholic. That's a dangerous, slippery slope.
I didn't learn
Very
that
much
lesson.
so.
Yeah.
You know, and I bet you none of us have the answer to that too. But all of us, working on our passions as our business, I think at this point, learning how to pace ourselves with that.
Yeah.
This is me calling the kettle black because I don't know
Yeah.
how to do this. Is an important life lesson to start thinking about and stuff too. But I spent my whole day with my kids. I'm like, I'm going having fun on a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this past year, with the hurricane and everything, I think that one of the biggest things I learned from this past year is knives are the least, like, yes, Ridge Runner is a knife store, but to me, the people are so much bigger and more important than the knives.
Mm.
Like, I've met some insanely cool people this past year and got to see, just the community, the way that people treat each other. It's amazing to see how that kind of red flag dude sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the people. Like, it doesn't take long. And I learned some valuable lessons about how to deal with makers, for sure, because I didn't know. But just seeing how the community, the hurricane was a amazing example of that.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
just seeing how that all played out has been really, really cool. With Josh and stuff, like, it was seeing his shop and seeing the kind of the bond. He's got 3 employees he's got to pay. We were able to take the Foxfire and actually pay his bills for, literally 3 months. 3 or 4 months is literally what paid his bills, paid his employees. And it was really just the community too, like all the people that heard the story and stepped up. And I can't tell you, what was interesting is at the beginning of 2024, I told Josh, I said, the Foxfire is going to be the knife of 2024. It's going to be the knife. And boy, like, I was like, it was fun to actually say I told you so a little bit there. Because he built a bunch of them.
How backed up are you on blades with the Foxfire right now?
So the landslides are all done, and I'll tell you off stream how many of those that we did. It was insane. But I'm running about a month and a half behind right now with Foxfires getting them. They're selling out.
Okay.
I just put a pre-order out today for last of February, March, and I'm having to pre-sell them because people are wanting them so bad. They're wanting to give you money and get one. It's been a bizarre thing. I've never. I have sold an incredible amount of Foxfires this year.
Hey guys, in case you don't know, long story short, Primitive Woodsman was up in Boone, North Carolina, had a landslide on a tremendous place behind his house. Boone, right?
Yep, up in Boone.
And had a tremendous place right behind his shop that he just started up, take out half of his shop. And with a little bit of mountain ingenuity, he was able to get back and running right again. And they put out a special edition, and that is the landslide edition.
Yep. So you guys that got the landslide, that's a special knife that literally paid four families' bills that entire time. They're getting ready now. The his landlord, he was going to have to look for another building, and the landlord's son came in and said, "Nope, we're going to fix it." And they should be moving stuff back in this week.
Oh my God! How awesome is that?
It just worked out incredible. But, he was confined to a tiny little space up there, down to one grinder, basically. And so the Foxfire was like the perfect knife for him to make.
Cool.
And plus he had already cut a bunch of them too. And so he was able to pull all the rubber that went on the handles. He pulled out of the mud from the landslide. He went and dug it out. And, it was just a cool thing. And, so it's really cool. I think the knife community is, I was in the music industry for some time, and that community is so cutthroat. It's so closed. People just it is drama, insane drama llamas. Like just I mean, like a bunch of mentally ill people just in competition. Is really what it was like. And to see in this community, like people are so open with each other. There's a
Mhm.
few people out there that are little red flaggy, but as a whole, like you call somebody up, you need something, you need help, they're going to help you, or they're going to, it's just a very interesting.
Yeah,
Um, I really enjoy it. It's
dude, I
nice to
can't wait.
see.
I can't wait to do my own Kickstarter at some point here
Yeah,
because the community is just so big. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm waiting for that Godzilla chance to go to the museum or something.
yeah.
No.
Well, I'm excited. We need to get some of your designs uh, out this year.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And
Josh keeps asking me about that.
okay, you
So
know what? I'll stay up tonight and finish some up. Why not?
and so
We have a
this
challenge.
there's a challenge.
I'm just gonna tell my wife to. I mean, what am I gonna do tomorrow morning? It's just gonna be Snowfest.
I
So
know. I know.
all right. Let's do this now while we're on the live. We're going with the idea behind it. It's about the snow in the North Carolina mountains.
Oh boy.
What are some things that come with that, and what do we have to do when we're out there in the North Carolina snow?
Milk,
Three things.
bread, and eggs.
So we call it the MBE.
There you go, the MBE, milk, bread, and eggs.
Do you guys want an acronym? Another knife? I'm just asking.
It's all you, man. I mean, you come up with the Cavalor.
Cavalor. Yeah, I was hearing you say that, and I was like, "That's not right, Jason. That's not right."
I'm a retard homeschool kid. Don't bash me too hard.
So am I.
Well, you're more cultured than me, Taylor. You know how to read.
A little bit.
Yeah. So,
Well, let's think about that. What would you need in North Carolina to have in a machete that would split wood in the wintertime?
3/8 of an inch thick with a saw back. I'm just
Ooh.
kidding. Don't write that down. Don't write that down.
So basically,
I
a K
did
bar.
the back as a middle finger, but that's all right.
So you're saying
With an
machete,
insert for
like
a backbow saw.
a bigger knife, like machete? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, what it would do is it would take you take the blade out of the backhoe saw, of course, the professional 396, right, and that snaps into the back of the machete. So,
Yes,
A milled slot with some magnets in it.
Oh gosh, guys, don't patent that.
That's a great idea. Into the stream.
Yeah. But I think a shorter machete
Yep.
would be something on the shorter side. Would be pretty awesome.
I always thought the short Latin machetes were perfect for our terrain and environment. Maybe a beefier version.
Yeah, sexier.
I've got something I want
just
to
do another Latin machete again, and it can get boring or monotonous. It's hard sometimes to make such any tool. Actually, Taylor's really good at this. It's hard to make any tool sexy again, but it's the material that you put in it. Even if it's something that's a redo or a remake. It's the story behind it in the materials and the way that you're able to present a useful tool such as this badass overlanding tool out there as well. So that's kind of the ideas that I like about it too.
I have something that you need to. This is rabbit trail. Don't take more than 30 seconds. Okay.
I'll try.
I saw something that we've got to do at some point. Have you seen those Japanese axes?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Not the machete ones.
The short. It's like a short blade mounted to an axe handle.
Yeah, it's a carpenter's axe.
Do what?
It's a carpenter's axe.
I don't know what the heck it is. It's awesome as crap.
Yeah.
Wait, look up in the thing.
I saw it on Outdoor Boys.
Baton.
Yeah, it's a carpenter's axe. Yeah,
Dude,
it's 100% what that is.
That's wicked. It's so wicked.
Japanese carpenter's axe. Is that before I think about the one with the 3 marks on it? Oh yeah.
The three lines. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, but he's not forging axes right now.
No.
Yeah, give it time.
No, I don't even think it's a forged axe head. It's like a blade. It's a straight up
I think
blade.
you're thinking of a nata.
I don't know.
Oh
And-
yeah.
and-
Jason's talking about the nata. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That thing's wicked.
Joe designed one of those for Condor, didn't you?
Yep. I sure did the batonata. And there are many different ways of doing a nata too. And the batonata was a only like Condor style nata of that. But man, Japanese. But I got one right here from actually our good friend, Mr. Dubois.
I'd say that.
Dubois.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, this is a polypropylene handled Japanese nata that I traded him something for. I think I have to bring him a bunch of pterosaurs. You know, it's crazy though. Some of the natas, if you guys can see here, all you knife nuts will be able to tell. This one has a chisel grind where it's just a little bit here, but the huge grind right there. Let me see if I can get that closer to the camera.
Wait, let me see the other side.
It's offset.
No, the other side. Sorry. So is that a chisel grind or is that an asymmetrical grind?
It might be an asim grind.
Technicality. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, like a 3060.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think it is.
They do those in a couple different versions. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that on that one.
Kitchen knives and stuff, but apparently it's to knock out stuff a certain way. There's actually a couple of different. I got a bunch of old jungle stuff over there that's actually used that way as well. But I actually got this at Georgia Bushcraft when we were at your table.
I'm trying to think. It's more like a I can't say these words. Golly dang.
It's canted forward more.
It's an axe handle. It is an axe handle.
Yeah.
So, why do they have to make
I know what
so
you're talking
hard?
about now. Okay, it's got a forward curve, doesn't it? At the very end?
It's kind of got but it's not. Some of them have like a end, like a end hooked on them. This is just
like
an
L shape on it.
Yeah, but this is just flat. It's more of a flat one.
Yeah,
so cool.
Those are like a tree cutter machete.
Yeah.
Those were made by Billness in Finland too. You've seen them, Joe. It's like a short little handle, and the blade's kind of like forward curved at the very end on some of them.
Sometimes they're made out of stacked leather too, like the bell hooks.
Or they're socketed handles, one or the other.
Yeah, socketed for sure. Yeah, I think I have one here. Not here, but in the.
Those are cool.
I can't say these words. I can't even say cave lore. And I'm supposed to say these. I mean, this word has like 13 letters in it. There's no way. You got past 5. I can't do it. It's
spell it to me. Spell it out.
I don't even know if my dyslexia will allow me to do it. It's
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
It's AZUMASYUSAKU.
Oh, I know what you said. I missed all that.
Mazuyaku.
That's a Maku. This is. See that?
Holy crap!
It's really cool.
Okay. I've seen those. It's like a brush axe.
Yeah, it's for forestry work. It's like that. But shorter handle, and it's bizarre.
Those are wild looking.
So it's like a Japanese version of what this would be used for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a brush axe, but the one he had didn't have that hook on the end.
Yeah. A lot of them were just straight.
I just
texted
texted
you. Naginata.
I just
brush
texted
Naginata.
They're super, super sharp.
You know, I got something
But like watching him use it, it was just like I mean, it was just effortless to to clear trees off, and it was really cool.
There it is. Found it.
I had one of those at some point, but it had a little bit more curve to the end of it.
So that's like a hook.
Here's an absolute batshit crazy version of it.
What in the world is that?
This is something that Dustin from Wazoo, EDC and all that, the guys who do the super belt,
Yeah.
got me when he was in Africa.
That looks like
Check
something
it
the
out.
Grim Reaper would carry.
Yeah.
Thick as heck here for chopping, and then this gets really, really, really thin.
Huh.
And that's another curved blade that was attached to a handle to even be able to use two-handed wise. But man, some of the stuff that the Japanese are able to make is extremely crazy. There's stuff with their nadas where they're splitting wood like this thick with just a baton and one of those machetes. It's kind of crazy. Looks like one of the Dukes or something along that line. Iron Path Bolo. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you pull a picture up of that?
Oh gosh.
I think I have an Iron Path here.
That's one I didn't bring with me. They're awesome. Is that it?
No, I was a moonshiner. Oh wait. Sweet. Got one. Look at that. Tell my mom I was actually prepared. Yep, so this is an Iron Path Bolo. It's a basic style small bolo, although it doesn't have like a crazy obtuse bolo shape. So when they say bolo, they mean something, gosh, it's sharp. A little bit thicker here with the sway back. It's just a basic style, but this is supposed to be a lot smoother for more hand manipulation. Sorry about the change in the lighting. I got this new camera ring for Christmas, and I don't even know what it does with shiny stuff right now. So it's fun to make the camera shine, though.
Yeah, that's a kick butt knife.
You can use the Iron Path like this for more longer chopping and extension, but still have that chef style grip because it doesn't have too crazy of a choil to use for a lot of stuff. When you have a more basic design like this, it tends to work really, really well for manipulation out in the bush when you're using your tools. I do it a lot or make it look really easy, but I'm not that great at it as some of the other people I work with are.
So on this machete, so what if you did the kind of the handle a little like curved on the back?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like more of a curve.
Mm-hmm.
Not Persian, but kind of that. You know what I'm talking about? Like that. I just wonder what that would be like.
That's to have a hook beak on the back of machete. There's so many different variations out there. It helps really, really well to hold your hand on a machete. And it's actually something very popular, even for even the most basic machete. That hook style became a protrusion in that more military-esque handle shape that you'll see on some knives to keep your hand in there. Just checking to make sure I don't have an edge on this. Keep your hand in there when you're flinging it, around like that too. This one does have an edge, but it's not that sharp. It's not Taylor sharp.
But they, I think so. What if it kind of bridged that, like bushcraft, not tactical, but you know what I'm saying, like where you've got it, where it's like it's a woods blade, but it also could be a defense tool.
Make it pointy, so at the end sticks into somebody else, instead of you, and then has an established back end that you're able to hold on to very, very well, but also do all the Ed Calderon, flip. I'm not going to do it right now. Flippy hand stuff that you're able to do to hold on to your knife, which is hard to do in some designs. There is always an answer out there, though. I can think of some in my head right now. I'm not going to pull up the pen and paper and try and draw it though.
So we're gonna do a big knife first.
Yeah. I think some kind of parang is what we were talking about one time.
Yeah. I love the parangs.
They seem to do real well. And there's some ways with lines, especially with Taylor's input, to make them very sexy and different from what else that's out there. I mean, I got praying ideas out the wazoo because it's one of those things where it's immersion. I mean, they're sitting in the background right now just from random prangs right there from Malaysia and stuff that really, really work because they work through a lot of different woods.
Yeah. You know, that village parang you designed, that thing is pretty wicked.
Yeah, that's pretty comparable to the bushcraft parang.
Yeah.
Because it has that kind of like set to it. But man, that style parang people can really appreciate in any cultures. You know, it's a multicultural tool, just like axes.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think the most, the coolest axe design that you've seen in the past 3 years?
The coolest axe design?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that bushcraft axe that I just got in.
Oh, cool!
Let me get in. That's one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. As far as like usability and stuff, like it's just different than anything I've ever had.
Taylor, this one is one of the coolest ones I've seen in a while.
Is that Northman?
Yeah, it's. I think
That's
you
cool.
traded me for this one.
Did I?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've done a lot of trading with you, Joe.
It all
I feel like
becomes one
I feel like we
giant-
should. I feel like we should clip that. Done a lot of trading with you, Joe.
I don't know what my coolest axe would be in the last 3 years. I really like those the Urnieta Basque axes.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are super cool.
I like
It needs to be reground by you though.
I like that little small hatchet that Julia's doing.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
That's really cool.
blade.
Have you seen her stuff, Taylor?
Yes. Joe handed me one at an event like 6 years ago, and I immediately cut all 4 of my fingers.
Are they pretty nice?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're
You're really well balanced. She knows what
they're
she's
at the
doing.
very top. I'll tell you that. As I was messing around, getting ready to move, I found this lingering around in my shop,
Oh wow.
and my lighting sucks. But this is like solid wrought iron.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
How old is that
Except-
thing?
this is like 1850s, 1860s probably.
Wow.
I can't probably get it in the camera, but you can see where it's forge welded. The bit is overlaid. So that's an old one right there.
Wow, that's cool.
That's the most wrought iron I've had my hands on in a long time.
They Fire Creek Forge, Elijah did a chef's knife. He took a nut, a big fastener from the 1860s or 1870s, something like that, and did a sandmai
Oh
with that.
man.
I love wrought iron.
It looks so cool. I've never seen much of that stuff before.
It's a complicated material to work with.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
It's not super stable.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of like meticulous work to work with. I've done a couple knives that were like a sandmai with wrought iron,
Yeah.
and they are not the funnest knife to finish.
Yeah.
Especially when you get that like little bit of crumble on the outer layer when you grind it. Little pieces flake off. It's not.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome though. It's historic.
Yeah.
It's old. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not making that anymore.
I mean, is that like 100% carbon? Like,
No, I think it's no carbon. It's just
No
iron.
okay.
There's like this.
So it's just straight iron, just
Yeah,
straight iron.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why they usually inlaid or overlaid a bit
Yeah.
on the axes and stuff, because it was not. It was strong when it was thick, kind of thing. but it can't be. It's not hardenable, so you can't
Yeah.
use it as a tool.
Huh.
I even have a wrought iron miner's pick somewhere in this mess, and
Whoa!
the
That's
very
cool.
ends of it are forge welded on of carbon steel. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
So,
I guess it's just way easier to make it out of wrought iron.
well,
Like that.
I think it was a cheaper thing back
Yeah.
then, because like high quality steel wasn't really easy to come by.
Hey,
So
Corey Hill
wrought
said train
iron.
track material.
Do what?
Corey Hill said train track material.
Train track material. I've never seen wrought iron train track,
What is
but I
train track made
know.
out of?
Well, nowadays I think it's really close to 5160.
Really?
Wow.
It was either that or 52100, one or the other. I read something recently about a guy making axes from it.
Holy
Huh.
crap.
So it's a hardenable steel because it needs to be wear resistant.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
it's not like
Taylor,
junk.
this is 5160, but it doesn't have that harmonic ting to it. Any idea why?
It could be the thickness.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the thicker stuff doesn't have that ting. And how is the handle fastened also?
Well, it's got hollow pins, but there's no, well, just a crap ton of. I mean, look at the size of the mosaic.
Oh dang, yeah. It's probably the thickness of it.
Do you think this will have any trouble on frozen stuff outside this weekend?
Possibly.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't I
know
don't
any
know
about.
much about his stuff. I know who he is and I've followed him for a while.
Yeah.
Um, if it's 5160, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But if it's like 5160, like a leaf
Right.
spring, I don't know. I have no clue.
I'd almost
So,
I'd almost trust that more than I trust a lot of other higher end material
oh,
out
me
there.
too. Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would. I'd
But
trust this made out of this over MagnaCut.
that looks like it's like convexed in,
Yes.
so it's probably pretty freaking tough.
Yeah, I'm really interested to try. I just, it's my baby, so I don't want to just do all my no-nos right away.
Yeah.
Start with something softer.
Yeah, of course. Hey, dude. So I used Ross's Dry Creek Forge's 80 CRV2 harangue that he made me on a deer head, and went right through the bone scary well, and no fragmentation on the blade. I was super impressed.
Yeah. I really am impressed with 80 CRV2 and 8670 for toughness.
Oh wow, 80. I haven't messed with 8670 yet.
That was one of the first ones I used outside of 10 series steel, and it's mainly because it was cheap.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's pretty similar in characteristics of 80 CRV2, so it's pretty close.
I got it. I guess a lot of these new end. I guess I keep saying new end steel. What's it like? When did 80 CRV2 start becoming popular? I guess I don't
I
really
don't
know.
I don't know the answer to that, honestly. I don't have the answer to that one because I did not follow 80 CRV2 very closely until like maybe 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So like for me, it was like I don't know, like maybe like a 10-year thing. But I'm just a user more than I am a steel person. So like maybe 7 years ago. I don't know. Pretty recently. It feels to me like recently, but I never paid attention to it until you taught me about it more.
I always loved 1084.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
everyone always said 1095 was like the thing, for like outdoor knives, man. But I was always on the 1084 hype train.
especially
You know,
for big knives too.
yeah, bigger
Yeah, it
stuff,
can
the
really take a beating.
impact. It's impact resistant. You can
Mhm.
bend the knife like 45 degrees or more,
Exactly, like
and
a
it comes straight
1075
back.
or something, but just a
Yeah,
little bit different characteristics and stuff too.
yeah, I love it, and it's super forgiving on the maker side too. I mean, you could
Yeah,
quench that stuff in peanut oil. And I mean, for real though, you could quench it in peanut oil and still get like a good 58 Rockwell.
Wow.
So 84 is some good stuff.
This is my favorite machete.
Oh, Polar North.
Yep. This is my favorite out of
That
all of
is
them.
quite up there with one of my favorite machetes of all time. Probably because one of the most like tear jerking experiences when you're in a world of like 12 different tribesmen all giving you crap at the same time about this machete and that machete, and a fun and jovial atmosphere when one of them pulls you to the side and goes, you know, this is an awesome machete for bushcraft and for actual like craft and hunting usage.
Yeah.
I almost got teary eyed. I was like, oh
Uh,
man, really? And it was pretty easy to make because with the Polar North, if you look at it, it's got a point down the center line, a multi use handle without a lot of gimmicks to it, and also a little bit of that kind of like a little bit homage to Taylor, a broken off axe handle at the bottom.
Yep.
If you focus just on the axe handle at the bottom, it kind of looks like an axe handle, and that helps keep it from jumping out of the blade too. It's just hard to figure out how to do that with something that won't cut, the back of your hand when you're using it extended. Believe it or not, Batco did a really good job with that same idea when they have this here so that you can use it when you're extending. That's something that you need to do with machetes too.
So I have one request with this.
Okay.
With this knife is come out with a Micarta handled version.
You put that in my notes.
Please.
On your desk by Monday.
Polar Micarta.
I'm telling you, this knife needs it's so good. But I would love just put the same Micarta they put on the K-Tax on it.
So what do you think of 14C28N as a machete steel?
That's a Taylor
That's supposed
question.
to be pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I have one here with that I need to test a lot more, and I'm going to tomorrow. And I'm very interested in that because if it's pretty forgiving too on the maker scale, so it could be something to look into. Traditionally, back in the day, as far as Condor goes, they tried to do a stainless steel machete, and it did not work out at all for them because they just couldn't get a good, proper stainless steel source. It wasn't their heat treatment; it was microfractures in the blade, almost like Magna Cut's first problems.
Huh. How would ABL do on a machete?
I don't know. I've thought about that once, but I've only had ABL on Dan Eastland's knives, and good God, could those hold an edge on a deer?
I love ABL now. It's become that's probably my favorite fixed blade stainless.
Can you make that thin and bend it? Can you do this with ABL?
It will flex.
Yeah, it flexes good. It's a good fillet knife steel. I don't know how it works on impact. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I was wondering is like being able to like on like hard impact stuff, how it would hold up.
Well, the key with that, this is like a crazy machete thing. Sometimes the key in that is with the the taper. If you can get the company to listen and taper it right, you can get a really sexy blade that won't have so much stuff on the impact, but it's got to be fast. And you lose a lot of chopping power, of course. But that flexiness is really, really important, especially if it's a really tough blade.
I know, Taylor did some ABL stuff this last round, and man, that stuff is wicked sharp. You can just get it so stupid sharp.
It's easy to get sharp too. Like it's the fastest sharpening steel that I've used.
ABL?
Yeah, it's super easy. It's like one pass in the belt, and I'm razor sharp.
Okay, I'm all ears for that.
I do grind really thin, but it's pretty fast.
Man, something to check out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And this is really cool. Thanks, Kevin too for that input. I'd love to have a 5160 machete too, and I have some actually. They're a great steel, but I guess the only properties that I'm really looking for would be stainless resistance.
Yeah. You're going to be stuck on stainless now since you went on this whole diving thing.
Yeah, I have been. I have been now, especially since I saw MagnaCut actually
Yeah.
working. You know, and that was a big deal because I messed up some MagnaCut down in the bush.
Internet says that train tracks are made from 1084.
Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
that's right. Yeah, that's more likely. So it's a usable steel.
Yeah,
Huh.
would 1084 be a great axe steel? Because that what Wetterlings or Grands for Bucks is 1060, right?
Yeah, I know a lot of like premium axes are in that
Yeah.
1060 category.
Yeah.
I think you could use 1084, but you'd have to temper it down a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You know, typical heat treat 1084, you're going to be at like 58.
Yeah.
And I think you lower it down about 4 more points or so, and it might be a little bit better. 3 or 4 more points. I'm not sure the exact hardness like an axe is supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
the old ones are all over the place. I mean,
Yeah, it depends on
you
which
tested
year.
some of the weird stuff that I did with the axes, and they are all over the map. So, but I mean, you could definitely temper it down, and there's an abundance of train tracks everywhere.
Everywhere.
So just go out behind your house and cut a piece off the train tracks and take it home.
Well, that's
Yeah.
all.
you that was not legal
Yes, guys.
advice.
By the way,
and-
that was yes. Yes.
It's only illegal if you get caught. Okay.
See, I like the
Antique
way you think.
train tracks that are no longer in service.
Yeah. Go to your local scrapyard.
Yeah.
Auction.
Yeah. I love this thing though. And if it had a Micarta handle on it, good lord, that would be stupid nice. That would
All black or what other? It'd have to be a different color on the blade too.
do what?
What color on the blade?
I think if you just put black Micarta on it with the black leather sheath, I think it would look good.
Okay.
Don't
Easy
you, Taylor?
enough.
Green or brown.
Green or brown?
Yeah.
They get fancy, make a
What
Kydex
color,
sheath for it.
Texture, I'm sorry, on the blade.
Do what?
What color texture on the blade? Would you want it to be that light gray color?
I mean, black would be sick. I think.
Yeah, there's now they have even Cerakote.
Really?
Yeah, but it's expensive as crap though. Gosh,
It is.
ooh, really expensive.
It is. They so they have a whole oven and everything, Cerakote oven.
Yeah, well now we have a bunch. They have a
Yeah.
bunch of ovens, but they're doing some NASA crap coming up here too.
Condor is
Yeah,
the
they're
first machete
really,
on the moon.
yeah, no, getting like space age heat treat stuff. They even
Oh,
have
wow.
robots now that are they're working
cool.
on doing soldering and stuff.
That's
Oh,
really
they're going to do some of that pressurized heat treating, huh?
No way.
No?
I don't think they're up to that level yet.
Okay.
If they can dial it into 1 degree, then yeah, they'll get up to that level. That's what they want to do.
Huh.
That's it. It just depends on the day. Big Chris makes a wicked job. Yeah, he does.
3v4 MagnaCut.
Dude, Big Chris is an awesome maker. Man, he does some crazy great stuff.
I love the simplicity.
Does he do some of the knife? Does he do some of the blade sports stuff?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, I thought so.
He was that viral video for a while, the dude cutting like 30 water bottles in half that was going around. That was
okay.
Big Chris.
Yeah. I follow his designs a lot, big time, and I know him on the Instagram page. But I was thinking there was something blade show or blade sports wise that he was really popular.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
Well, guys, we've hit 2 hours.
Good. I was just about to tell you. I just got the knock of doom over there.
Well, hang around for just a second. Let me close out the live stream.
No worries. Yeah.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We'll have Joe and Taylor back again. Maybe we'll bring in some other guys too, and we'll just have like some other makers, and we'll just have a nice round table.
Heck yeah.
I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun.
That'd be really fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging around. and we'll see you
Ridge Runner
next
blades,
Later, fellas.
sharp and true, forged in the heart, fresh as dew. Buy one today.